Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Learning with Pros. Today I'm joined with Augie Ge. Augie, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me, Braydon. Big fan. I appreciate being on here. Big fan of like all the reviews and everything, and as well as your tungsten tape. I live and die by it, so I'm honored to be here.
I appreciate that. You're the first pro that said it this way. I've likewise huge fan of you. It's been so fun watching your progression from the beginning of last year up until MLP champion. If anyone doesn't know who Augie is, he plays for the Dallas Flash, tours on the PPA tour. Really fun to watch. I think a lot of people are attracted to you because you have a very unique style. I feel like as the game has changed over the last couple of years, a lot of people are embracing the power, the speed, and you have that, but you don't. You feel more deliberate than a lot of other players, and it's fun to watch. And what we're gonna do today, is similar to what we've done in other episodes. I have some points we're gonna walk through. Augie's seen these. I, whatever you see, whether it's technique, strategy, shot selection, whatever you could pull out about me specifically, or just the point in general. If there's other little tidbits you get from the point, we can talk through those. But excited about this. But before we jump into the video, I do want to ask you, your style does feel unique. It feels different. Why do you choose to play the way you do? Like, am I accurate in thinking that you feel a little more cerebral, a little more deliberate, a little different play style than a lot of
Yeah, no,
players?
absolutely. I would say that's spot on. I think a lot of it has to do with just the way that I kind of started playing pickleball, especially as like a right-sided player. And then when I first came into the game here in Phoenix, Arizona, there's a core of guys who were like already playing like at the pro level, like they're probably high fives, low sixes at the time, like Craig Johnson, Pesiteoni, and these guys. And I just wanted to keep getting invited back to the games. So I always put emphasis on like not missing balls and trying to not be attackable. And that's kind of how I got my start, just developing my overall play style. And then I kind of learned the offense later on. And then also, I've played with the Vatic Pro Prism pretty much since the start of my career. And that's kind of generally known as a softer paddle and more of a control paddle. So it's been a little tougher to kind of keep up with like the new offense that's being developed, but at the same time, it's helped me really hone in on this style that I've started playing pickleball with, which was just more control, being very deliberate in getting to the kitchen as well as being pretty cerebral in choosing my attacks. I'm still always trying to add new offense and trying to like not necessarily keep up with modern pickleball, but trying to like add my own like style or add my own technique in a way that kind of fits my style to match the offense that a lot of these guys are bringing. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
a kind of a fun position to be in
So,
with my game.
what's that look like for you? Is it adding more? Is it creating more? Like when you're thinking that way, okay, how do I adapt my play style? How do I make what I do better? What are you working on? What are you thinking? Okay, this is the next step for me.
Yeah, so the first piece of offense that I really developed was like the off the bounce forehand speed up. And I learned that from my roommate Pesiteoni, who has like probably the sickest one in pro pickleball, especially as a
Yeah, you
lefty.
can do that.
Oh yeah, as a lefty, like we always get to attack the left side player who has to cover both sides of their bodies. So it's kind of all about picking the spot there. And then since I've kind of spammed that one, and a lot of people are getting used to my attack there. It shifted to like a lot of out of the air offense. Like I don't necessarily have as strong of a backhand flick as I would like. And I feel like I have a lot of potential there to continue to add to that piece of my game. And then as well as like a backhand pull off the bounce. There isn't as much like right to right dinking in men's pro pickleball anymore. So my opportunities there are a little less, but nonetheless, whenever I do get like pulled out wide, I really want to be sure that I have that in my arsenal as well. So those are just a few of the things.
That's fascinating.
Yeah,
No, I like
no, you're
that.
good.
Sorry, but, your comment about the right to right dinking, I never registered that until you just said it.
Mhm.
We are seeing a lot more of the left sider backhand to backhand pattern Why is that?
Yeah, I think it's because we've just been able to generate so much offense on the right side. Like you look at guys like, I mean, classic example is Gabe and Hayden, who like any like maybe of like the neutral dinks that they get to their forehand, they're probably going to speed up half of them. So that's just to dink a ball neutral to the outside on the right side is not a safe shot anymore. Whereas like the standard kind of used to be Colin Johns, who would like dink forehands a million times until they got the pattern to where they wanted it to go. Now even Colin has some really sophisticated offense on the forehand side on the off the bounce. So I think the game has just kind of shifted to more offensive, and that's less of a safe spot these days.
Yeah, that's interesting. It makes a lot of sense that the right typically the right sider has that forehand, and there's options off that. It's funny that it's just now getting utilized more than it was even a year or so ago.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been a big shift from me because people used to just dink a lot to my backhand because I had no offense over there. And then now I've gotten my backhand dink roll to be, I'd say, one of my stronger shots. And now people don't dink cross court to my backhand anymore. So it's kind of, that's kind
Nice.
of annoying that I worked on that.
Yeah, you build that up and now they
Yeah,
do it.
exactly. But no, it's fun. It's fun to try to keep up with all the new modern pickleball.
Yeah, that's fun to hear explain it that way, and it makes a lot of sense. Quick question on paddle. Okay, Prism Flash. There aren't many. Gabe Tardio kind of plays with a control style paddle, but there's not too many people that do that. Is is that by choice? Is that because you're with Vatic Pro? Maybe they don't have a super power paddle, or you think the idea of I need a big power paddle to win could be a fallacy?
Yeah, it's like a combination of many different factors. I think I'm just so dialed in with the Prism, and then also I'm with Vatic, and I just love supporting Vatic. Yeah, just like starting my pro pickleball career with the Prism, and I feel like I've just kept getting better with the Prism, even though like all the new paddles are getting more and more powerful. I don't know. It's a combination of a lot of different things. But I just love the feel at the end of the day, and I feel like I'm the most
Yeah.
comfortable getting into the kitchen and playing my game style with the Vedic Prism.
Yeah, I like that. You've had obviously a lot of success with it, and it's fun to see you have success with the Prism. When a lot of people think, oh, you have to kind of fight fire with fire, which I do believe in some cases, but it's not always the case,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
absolutely.
can still have success with other styles, other paddles. It doesn't have to be the
Yep,
Yola.
that's my outlook on that as well. Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. We'll go through some of these points. If we don't make it through all of them, that's okay.
perfect.
All right, so we're watching the first point. We pulled an audible. My internet was being slow. Augie's is working.
Nice
So here's the
reset
first point.
there.
I got a few where I did better than others, and I just try to give you kind of a mix of different looks that I have.
Awesome. Yeah, let's break this one down. This is a good point here. Um, let's go back here. I like the two-hander. I think you're kind of your momentum, I guess, isn't quite stopped yet. So you can see how kind of like after the shot, this is like more of a technique thing. Um,
Hmm.
sorry, let's wait for it to get back there. Like after the shot here, your body weight still kind of falls over to the left
Yeah,
because you kind of cross your legs a little bit. I would love for you to get a little like quicker, maybe take a bigger step with your left so you're more open stance there. Um, and then I think
and
you'll be able
stable,
to,
leaning the other direction
yeah,
through.
exactly, exactly. So such that when you follow through on the shot, your body weight is still essentially where it was when you started the shot.
I think in my head on this one, I was like, oh, I bet they're out of position. I bet they're squeezing middle. I'll try to pull something fancy and go across.
I
But
could see that.
I wasn't stable enough to pull that off, and it got us into trouble.
Maybe, but I do like that idea. Like actually my partner Jaume does that quite a bit. He'll like fool them with like a cross court heavy roll dink, and he'll get them. So that's a shot that can definitely work.
But you need the footwork for it.
I think so. And those are two
Okay.
great resets there. And then yeah, like we said, I've watched some like these points through once before this, and one thing that I noticed, like you sit pretty heavy with one hand, like with your left hand on your hip, like in this
Mhm.
position. Um, and I like, especially with you having the two-hander in your arsenal, I would like to see the left hand like a little at least closer to your right hand, um, such that when you do go to two hands, it's like not as big of a movement. Like I never played baseball in my life, but Caden and I have been playing catch a lot lately. And he's been telling me to like bring my left hand, because I catch with my right because I'm a left-hander, up with the glove, such that when I make the transfer to have the baseball in my left hand,
It's already there.
that it's already there. And I think kind of a similar concept here. It's just something that like sticks out to me visually that I don't see a lot of the pros necessarily doing or having that positioning. Certainly, when you're in a position where like you're more likely to go for like a backspin dink or like flicking out of the air, you can kind of cheat with your body positioning and kind of reach out with your paddle more. But in neutral dinking like that, I would love for you to have a more neutral hand position with your left hand.
So when I'm just kind of keep it off the handle a little bit, just have it higher, just have it there.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, just a little closer to the paddle rather than fully at the hip. Like here,
Okay.
you're sitting pretty heavy with one hand, and then you're
Yep.
kind of committed to
Yeah, I think
hitting.
that's my default is that
Yeah,
little hand on the hip. Yep.
right, right. I would love the default to just be a little more neutral with both. You don't have to be holding it with
Okay.
both all the time, but just bring the left hand a little closer. Yeah.
And I imagine that helps on counters too,
Yes, absolutely. That
with
was another
things
thing.
that makes that more available.
Exactly, exactly. Especially like switching from your backhand to your forehand on a counter, like you can use the left hand to bring it over to your right side, instead of just like here, and then it's like a little slower
Just
because you only
pulling
have the
it.
strength of one side of your body.
Nice. I like that.
We got some right side Braden here. Like it.
Yep.
Nice. Love that offense. Love that speed up there. And then good combo. Good dinks. Nice spot. Good reset. Sick.
This was a longer one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wanted it. I think I pulled that one out just because the longer dink rally. Get your thoughts on okay placement. Were those speed ups smart? I was kind of off the kitchen, off the bounce a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't the best idea. Were there other options I could have selected there? I don't know. Thoughts
Um,
on kind of point development.
yeah, I must say, since like this side, it's like my least familiar just because I can like kind of mirror myself with the backhand out wide to a player on the left and kind of extrapolate that. But as far as like advice on speed ups with like a righty on the right, I'm not as well versed. But I like all these takes, like even though you're a little off the kitchen line, um, you picked a good spot and you're still able to get some good offense there. Um, so I don't mind that spot at all. I know that like in the second one here, when you speed it up the second time, you go to that same like full down the line
Same
spot.
spot.
If you can develop like that same body language and just flip it inside in to his right hip, I think that one would have just completely gotten him. Actually, no, you know what? He kind of sat on his right hip here. Like if you watch your opponent straight ahead of you, um, He like kind of sat forehand there, and he just had a good counter there. So
Now, I see what you're
I think it
saying
was a
though,
good
as
spot.
far as disguising that and keeping that speed up the motion the same, but develop different locations off of it.
Totally, totally.
Someone gave me this tip the other day where sometimes with my speed ups, I'll kind of turn my paddle so that I'm in my head. I'm thinking, oh, I could generate more topspin this way. But
Mhm.
they suggested I keep the paddle tip down for speed ups, dinks, so that it's more disguised across the board. Is that a good tip?
Yes, I think so. Like having your paddle tip down, you should be able to hit both like that full inside or fully down the line shot that you hit here, as well as the inside in to the right hip. So I do like that tip a lot.
While also making it look like a dink because my dink, yeah, when I speed it up, I now I'm just watching this. I think I have a little tell where I bring my paddle to the side a little bit more, thinking, oh, I'm going to generate more topspin this way. But you could probably generate topspin with paddle tip down too.
Yes, I think you can. So are you saying when you're dinking, you don't get the paddle tip down, when you hit like a topspin dink or just in general?
Yeah, I don't. It's more like up and down this way rather than
Oh, got you, like a full
this
drop.
way, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Let's try to find it here. I'm sorry. I think it might be earlier on the point where you're dinking. Yeah. It's like a little more of like a scoop there.
Yeah, it's a very different motion.
Yeah, and I think the best way to set that up actually is with your footwork. So if you notice on these scoop dinks, the ball is like a little more to the right side of your body.
Hmm.
So then it's hard to fully drop the paddle tip there. But then when you speed it up here, the ball is more at the center of your body. So that allows you to
Oh yeah.
fully drop the paddle tip because it's hard to fully drop the paddle tip if you're like to the side of yourself. But if you're like right
Uh-huh.
to your center, you can actually get the paddle tip fully down. Um,
So I
so my
try to make
suggestion,
contact with dink speed ups in the general same area so it all looks the same.
yeah, yeah, I think so. As far as for deception.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there'll be moments where I'll have to reach out wide, but if I have time, set it up so it all looks the same.
Correct, exactly. See, and then this one, you drop your paddle tip fully and it's a little more in
Yep,
center
it's
of
more in
you.
front of me again.
Yep. And then the only shot that I might change the location on, I think, is this one.
Hmm.
Um, Even if you have to take a little pace off of it to get it fully to the left side player's right shoulder, I would do that trade off. I think if you put it there a little slower, he would have a lot of trouble rather than like going a little more middle because that's the natural swing path of the forehand, if that makes sense.
I like that. I think I might go a little too hard on those 50/50s,
Hmm.
put a little too much pace, and could think more location, more speed control. Yeah, I don't know. What are your kind of go tos? Like when you speed up below the net, it's it's less pace, more location for you. How do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah. Generally, I think location is priority number one, and then pace is number two. If I can hit the spot that I want to with more pace, then that's the best scenario. Otherwise, if I have to take a little bit off to hit that spot that I really want to hit, then I just trust the spot more. Like we're only 14 feet away from each other, so it doesn't have to be that hard, that much pace to like really handcuff him.
So right shoulder in this
I
scenario.
think so. Yes.
There's probably rarely a scenario I go to that location I did go to that
Um, yeah,
kind of feeds into their wheelhouse.
yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. If you can get it low through the middle though, it's nice because it's hard for that right side player to cover with the backhand. Um, but since you like kind of hit it a little high. Like I don't mind the height of that as long as it was more to the left side guy and his right shoulder.
Gotcha. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense. I like that.
awesome.
Yeah, I think I just kind of have two locations. Like I'll go down the line and down the middle and like right hip if I can hit it. I don't
Hmm.
I really ever target shoulders, but I've heard people talk about that before. So I need
Yeah,
to kind of drill that, add some variety.
I think so. I think so. The shoulders, yeah, they open up like the height range. I think I just saw a clip of like me and Jame last weekend playing against Colin Johns and James Ignatowicz, and Colin was on the left, actually, because they didn't unwind the switch. And Colin, like he had one off the bounce that was like from quite low actually, but he had a lot of time. He fully got his pedal tip down, and he just hit it straight here, not hard at all, but it just shocked me so much that I like just popped the ball up and he had an easy combo for the finish. So shoulders are definitely open, I would say. Okay, let's go back on this point. I didn't pay as much attention. Nice dink. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think that one was just a good read by your opponents. Um,
Blue.
maybe from the outside, I would still try to go a little more either to the left sider's inside foot or fully cross. Like I think that location is okay. And then this one, like the down the line, sometimes is a little not as safe because there's just less margin to work with. The net's higher
Mm-hmm.
and there's less space. So if they like get a good first step on it, as your opponent did there, they can get under it and create like that. Um, but that's the only shot that I would really change in that sequence. But I think he just
So
hit a good shot and
sometimes,
he read it well.
yeah. So and when I'm on the left, if I get, I don't know why I do this, but I'll just to change locations, I'll go from line to line.
Hmm.
Is that just generally a bad spot to go to? Pull that in a little bit on either
Line
the
to
right or
line.
left side.
Yeah.
Like it's a wide dink, and then I just dink down the line.
Yes. Maybe I think it's a little sketchier when you're on the left, dinking down the line. But if you're on the right, as long as you know that the left sider isn't as much of an Ernie threat or he hasn't been reaching as much, then line to line is okay. It's like a little safer, but still in general,
Okay,
maybe not the safest.
got it.
This is a nice drive and nice fifth. Um,
Yeah, he hit a good shot there. Like,
I think he did.
do we just give that to him sometimes?
Oh, I
Like I
think
felt like I hit a
so.
good drop, and then he just like smoked it by
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Um, hmm. I think so. I think so. I would just give that one to him as like a good shot, honestly.
Okay, we'll give that one to
Yeah.
Daryl.
I
Good
would,
job, Daryl.
yeah. I'd love to hear anyone else's opinions in the comments on if they disagree. I love that paddle tip down, the redirect. That's the Gabe Tardia dink.
Mimic that
Oh yeah.
everywhere. That'd be nice.
Yes. And then there again as well. Money got him off balance. So good. You set that up with the Mr. X. I love that. And then interestingly, like when the ball comes that far to the middle like that, naturally it is going to be more in the center of your body, which allows you to get that paddle tip fully down and then gives you the angles to work with. So even when it comes out wide, if you can get that paddle or that ball in the same position relative to your body, I think you'll have a lot of options as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, the little question, okay, right side, left side play. I'm being pretty aggressive here in the middle. We'll see, cardio do that a lot. Some do, some don't. What's
Mhm.
what's your opinion on that?
Um, yeah, no, I think it's great. I'm trying to add more of that myself, especially me being a lefty. I figure I should at least have as much reach as Gabe does with his backhand as I do with my forehand. So I think as long as you're like dynamic and able to shift over to your right when need be, and recognize the situations where you should, yeah, get big on the right. Like that's modern pickleball. I love that. And especially on fourth shots as well. I think Christian is probably the best at helping out with his backhand from the middle on fourth shots.
So that's like protecting your partner a little bit.
Yes, yes. Like if you're mostly when you're like unwinding a stack, but even if not, like you know that they're driving mostly line, or just driving to your partner's direction, you can kind of cheat over and help a lot there. Let's go back on this one. That's a good point.
Watching this now, this was kind of a cross court speed up, but I kept it low,
Yes,
which makes that option available. It sounds like.
totally. Yeah, exactly. Low is great. Um, Also because it's their backhand there. Um,
I mean, was that a good pull? I was a little off balance, a little off the side.
yeah,
I don't know how. What do you think of that one?
let's
I can maybe did I get away with it, or is that a good shot?
let me see it one more time.
Because that might have been a little bit of a hero shot that like might not be a high percentage,
Hmm. Um,
or is that a valid play?
it's hard
Because
to
I'm kind
say.
of off the court there a little bit.
Yeah, I think with you being that close to the right sideline, I would like to see it. You went a little too cross, I would say, for my liking, and open up this middle of the court here a little too much. But you executed it really well. Like you hit it low with good pace. So it's kind of tough for him to get that to like in between you guys.
So
So
if I had kept that less cross, that allows my partner to pinch and get involved a little more there, and doesn't
yes, yes,
leave
I
him
think
hanging.
so.
That's the reasoning there.
Yep, yep. Exactly.
So when you do, I probably attack cross more than I should.
Hmm.
Wh-
Um,
General philosophy attacking cross, like 10% of the time, do you go forward? Most, if you do go across, it sounds like you don't want to go too far because then that can open up spots for the other team.
that's right. That's right. I would say at the pro level, the only cross-court attacks that I really see are like when, like whoever has a okay, is when like you're taking it out of the air and you have to, and you're reaching and thus you can only attack cross court if that makes sense. Like you don't quite have the reach to attack it down the line, but it's still worth it to take that attack cross court. And then those cross court attacks will always be aimed at their outside wing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they're usually going to sit middle, and it's impossible to try to predict that they're going to hit it fully
So
across
like
your
like
body.
across their body.
Yes, yes.
So this one I just did here, you would
Yeah.
never do.
No, I would never do, and rarely would you see this work at like the pro level, I would say.
Hmm.
So here, I would rather do like this body fake and then go up the line. I think the line was kind of was open here, I would say. If you look at the left side guy's body language. You have a lot of room to
Yeah,
work
he
with up
was.
there. And then you can even go higher, and it would be really tough for him to get that paddle all the way back up here.
So on speed up height, I for some reason I always think kind of just low, whether it's hard or soft, just low is better. But it sounds like there's occasions where high is better.
Yeah, yeah, I would say there are occasions there. One situation would be like we said before, like shoulders as opposed to wings if they're if they're kind of good below or good at their hips, then getting it up to their shoulders is good. And then otherwise, like here, you might have to give it a little more net clearance if you were to go down the line because the net's a little higher there and you have less room like in front of the net to work with. So that would be another situation where hitting
Or
it
just
higher is
not
okay.
speed this one up
Yeah.
and set this one up a little more.
Um, I don't mind this like decision to speed this ball up at all because like it was wide enough and honestly I think like let's see and dead enough to attack. I would just choose to go down the line here instead. Honestly.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's good. I'll work on that. I mean, I'll have to rewatch this, but it seems like one of the takeaways is adding some variability to my speed ups with location and pace
Totally.
rather than just having one mode of hitting it hard in random cross courty spots.
Yeah, yeah. I like that takeaway.
And then the footwork. I think footwork is big on both sides. Like that very first point, that was a footwork thing. Some of these other ones could have been more effective if the footwork keep the ball in front of you so everything looks the same. Being more intentional with that.
Yes.
And any other big takeaways I should walk away with?
And then just back on the more neutral hand positioning when you're on the
Oh,
left
the hand
side.
position. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That might feel weird. I'll have to go mess with that.
For sure, it will.
But I definitely see the value there.
Yes, yes. I think there will be a big payoff in terms of like getting out for your one hand versus two hand backhand and as well as on your counters. So yeah, it'll be
Awesome.
good.
Well, thanks for joining me, man. That was really insightful. For everyone listening, I'll have links to Augie's accounts. You're on Instagram. You've been funny lately. You've been doing some good stuff.
Yeah,
You and Kaden are getting creative there.
it's been a good
So
time.
go follow him on Instagram. I think you just posted one this morning of an ice bath
Yes.
stereotypes or something.
Yeah, different types of people taking an ice bath.
It's been great. And then anywhere else people should be following you and watching other than TV and Instagram?
No, those are mostly my two channels. Yeah, catch me on tour at the PPA and I'm the Dallas Flash for Major League Pickleball and then
Dallas
Instagram as
Flash.
well. Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate you, Braydon.